I'm a big supporter of indie games because while AAA studios have continued to raise the prices of their interactive software just off the fame their titles have acquired, the indie market always surprises me with fresh new IPs sold for a modest sum. And while scrolling through the Steam Recommended tab, I found this little diamond hidden in the rough. Gearbits is a love letter to Armored Core, Gundam, Earth Defense Force, and super robots in general, where you take control of an assortment of different mechs to fight off swarms of giant insects as if you were an exterminator with an extremely large budget charged with eradicating an extraordinarily massive infestation. The invasive species of space bug known as Letopids have invaded the planet of Orient. As a no-name Gearbit pilot, it's in your best interest to follow orders and fight for your life, because military leave is not an option. If it was, you'd have such sites to vacation in like a dark underground mine, an oppressed city on the brink of destruction, and a wide open desert spanning most of the planet's surface. Don't forget your sunscreen, but especially remember to take your bug repellent, which comes in the form of a vast array of long-range rifles, automatic Gatling guns, and high-yield explosives, each sold at an affordable rate to fit snugly into your budget as you unlock them through your playthrough. Each mech, aka Gearbit, comes with its own pros and cons. Some are faster, while others can tank more attacks. It really comes down to the stats displayed neatly next to your selection. Armor dictates how much punishment you can take, while carry capacity defines what weapons you can bring with you, limited by the combined weight of your armaments. High FCS corrects your aim for especially inaccurate munitions, so you don't have to worry about hand-eye coordination. And melee simply determines how many times you can swing in close quarters. But the most essential information is your Gearbit's thruster capacity. It establishes how long you can use your boosters before they burn out, featuring two kinds of coolant types. Radiator networks disperse heat over time, while vent systems purge all of it when you stop darting around. By and large, if you're looking to step on the gas as much as possible, radiators are the best choice. Be careful though, because when you hear that overheat warning start to beep, you'll need to slow down for a second, or else you'll be stuck walking through an extremely active war zone with rarely a way to escape. Did you get all that? Because it's definitely going to be on the test, which without a doubt you will absolutely fail at least once or twice under a barrage of pests and other Gearbits that are looking to serve you a mission failed screen on a scrap metal platter. One unrepresented feature I should mention is that every mech has a special firearm, spanning from head Vulcans to electrical volleys. Some I prefer, and some I don't, but much like visiting a mystery hot sauce contest blindfolded and earplugged, you're gonna have to try them out yourself to figure out which ones are mild and which ones are fire. By the way, this game is very hard at times. Imagine being in the Sahara surrounded by ants. Each one of them are out for your blood. Now multiply their population and size by 100. Give some of them nifty laser cannons attached to their backs, combine a couple with wild rhinos, and modify a few more with homing mosquitoes for missiles. That's what you're in for. But you can always try again. And if things get too frustrating, there's an option to lower the difficulty after losing twice in a row. On the off chance you can't afford new upgrades, you can replay previous missions for a hot payday or try out Horde mode, adjusting the ratios to either relax and enjoy your time or fight for survival in catastrophic mode. Here's a bit of general advice. Okay, it's a lot. In Horde mode, there's no such thing as a free meal. The money you spend is deducted from your final paycheck. But don't let that stop you from experimenting with the features or even buying more health and ammo as you need it. For real, get a surplus between rounds, because the worst feeling is needing supplies but having nothing to re-up you. And certain enemies, namely the laser Letopids, explode on destruction, which could lead to yours throughout a long battle if you get too close too often. Missiles can be shot down, but you can also hit your own, so veer to the side after you let loose a salvo. Finally, if you're against bugs, go for explosives and flames. And against other Gearbits, try homing missiles and long-range rifles. The story is very straightforward. The planet is infested, and bandits attack you from time to time. The pacing is slow going at first, but things really pick up around Mission 12, where you might feel so on edge, you'll begin cherishing the quiet times and your NPC teammates, if for nothing else, because they make great distractions. After I beat the game, I ventured into the base exchange and discovered the lounge, where characters from the cast interact with each other for some extra content. I'll be honest, I know most of you won't care for it, but after we collectively saved the planet, I'm just happy to watch the NPCs enjoying their free time. The character designs are fitting for the genre, quirky at times, but most importantly, this guy. Now let's talk about the developer and publisher, which conveniently is the same group. Quack Pond Games. Of what I understand, one person drew the art, another composed the music, and the game itself was crafted completely by one individual. That's impressive because it would imply the sound design, mech model, storyboarding, coding, direction, and many other aspects of making the game were handled with care by a single human being. And although they don't have many games available, the developer seems to like the concept of cross-game unlockables, because their other title, Gearbits Gear Angels, has a few things to offer you. It's a short side-scroller shoot-'em-up, but totally free, with a soundtrack that reminds me of the opening of Mega Man X. Just listen. Once you've beaten a run with a character, you can navigate yourself to a Gearbits tab in the main menu for instructions. Save your progress in the settings, find your save file, and copy-paste it over to the Gearbits data folder. Launch Gearbits, and when you're choosing your mech, press F and you'll find the characters from Gear Angels ready for use, equipped with a unique weapon inspired from their own game. While we're on the subject, if you're a fan of super robots, just know there are 3 discoverable mech parts you can find in the main campaign for a nearly unstoppable machine. I won't spoil the locations, but a hint is that they're each found in sheds like this alongside a dusty box containing copies of every Xbox 360 game you've ever owned and any unfinished Warhammer minis you might have neglected over the years. You know who you are. But if you want to cut right to the chase and pilot a Gearbit that flies fast and pulls no punches, do as I did and go visit Antlered Sneck for their How to Unlock the Final GB video. Link in the description. I love this game, but there are 3 tiny criticisms I'd like to share. Every now and again, I hear a crackle in the audio. I've done some tests on my own and believe it has something to do with the boosters, as I've only noticed it when hovering or when the battleship comes onto screen. Next is a little bit more obvious. Please, for the love of Gundam, use spell check. I understand, Quack Pond. You're very busy and it's a small detail, but I majored in English. And while my degree didn't open nearly as many doors or opportunities as the university promised me, it did instill me with a crippling psychosis to point out mistakes in written language. Conclusively, my ultimate critique is that I want more. I had so much fun playing the base game that I bought the DLC and got an even further glimpse into the creator's passion for mechs and speedy gameplay. I was very satisfied with the story, where I fought against anime Elon Musk, crewed new machines that focused on quick conflict, and got to know a fresh cast of Raider characters fixated on their taste for adventure and booty. There's even another super robot you can locate the parts for. But I'm still thirsty for more content. So suffice it to say, I look forward to any new additions that Quack Pond comes up with through updates and digital downloads to quench my desire for more of their dynamic designs. By the way, my favorite mission has to be Present Time, which you can find in extra missions. It may be short, but it has a campy plotline with multiple endings. More of this, Quack Pond, please. If I may, I'd like to suggest some things for the future, possibly for Gearbits too. Multiplayer would be challenging to implement, but I think it would be rewarding. Joining together with my friends to overcome a grand siege in Horde mode, or just challenging them to PvP so we can test our reaction times against each other would be exciting. Another proposal is adding the ability to craft my own Gearbits using a mixture of parts. That way players could better optimize for missions, or I could handicap myself for greater tribulations. And maybe, just maybe, we could get some voice acting? I do want to clarify that I'm impressed by how different and distinct the characters already are in their dialogue. But just in case Quack Pond is considering voiceovers and is watching this maybe, contact me, because I'd love to audition. To the rest of you, if you're interested in learning more about Gearbits and Quack Pond Games, head over to their social media pages or their website, where you can read more and demo the game playing Gearbits Test Site. You can buy it on Steam, and if you do, just know that you have my thanks. Because I believe that the dev wants to make the best games they can, and your support for this indie developer may lead to further installments down the line. If you enjoyed this video or Gearbits, let's talk about it in the comments and consider subscribing, because there are more videos soon to come. Until then, thanks for calling, have a pleasant evening, and good luck in all you do. Dial Tone, out.